This time of year, a good hoodie is absolutely essential, but it's tough to find one that will last through the season. That's why the American Giant Classic Full Zip Hoodie is made to last a lifetime, so you can count on it to bring you comfort and warmth year after year. Slate Magazine called it the greatest hoodie ever made, and from cotton to zipper, it's made right here in the USA. With timeless style, heavyweight fleece, a double-lined hood, and reinforced elbow patches, you can depend on it for years to come. Snag the hoodie that will bring you comfort for life, the American Giant Classic Full Zip, and save 20% off your first order at american-giant.com when you use code CLASSIC24 at checkout. That's 20% off your first order at american-giant.com, code CLASSIC24.
Welcome to Meeting Malcolmus, a pavement podcast. Hey, it's JD here, back for another week. We're celebrating Boxing Day here in Canada, and I believe in the UK, it's the day after Christmas, and as such, I'm feeling a little overly festive, I suppose, over-festivized. Something to that ilk. It's Boxing Day. If you're scratching your head saying, what the hell is it? It's a way to make a 2-day holiday out of 1 day. But I believe the etymology, if that's the word you would use, is essentially that delivery people of that, people in that field of work were expected to receive a gift box on the day after Christmas, comprised of leftover Christmas goodies and that kind of thing. So there's that. What are we doing here? We are listening to, shuffling through the catalog of seminal indie rock band Pavement with the intention of hitting a bullseye or two and potentially one day allowing me to meet the namesake of this podcast, Stephen Malcolmus. So there's that. I got a letter and I want to share it with you. The letter writer has asked to remain anonymous, but it's a good story, and I think I would be remiss if I didn't share it. So I will pick it up after the introduction. In 1992, when Slanted and Enchanted came out, I was 16, shortly before I went into my last year of school. I didn't pick up on it immediately, but I know that I owned it before the end of the year, when it was featured heavily in DJ John Peel's annual Festive 50. Just over a year later, a friend and I were leaving home in Aberdeen to go to university in the comparatively big smoke of Glasgow, where we planned to start a band and revolutionize music forever, much like Scottish Malcolmus and Canberg, and perhaps even earn a degree. By the early summer of '95, our band had already passed its peak and exhausted our potential, having played our only gig in November. Our group obsession with Pavement never waned, though. By now, the 4 members of the band all shared a flat we had named Range Life, even getting a nameplate made for the door. Pavement were on their Wowie Zowie tour and were playing the Barrowland supported by Mercury Rev and up-and-coming local heroes, the Delgados. What a great lineup. Obviously, we all had tickets, but we wanted more. We wanted to meet the band, hopefully hang out with them a bit, and ensure that they played Range Life in their set. We all headed over earlier in the day to hang around the back of the venue to see if we could catch them coming or going. Once there, we discovered that we could get in through the loading area without being questioned, and lo and behold, Pavement were in the middle of their sound check. We sat down at the side of the stage to watch and rolled a couple of joints. Our plan was now to catch them as they left the stage and ask if they fancied a smoke. One by one, they left the stage, and our chosen representative asked if they wanted a smoke. Each declined, and were asked if they could play Range Life later. Second to the last to leave the stage, by my recollection, was Mark Heibold. Our spokesman intercepted him and asked the same question. No, he didn't want to smoke with us, but Steve, now alone on stage, surely would, he told us. We watched and waited as Malcolmus finished up and left the stage, and then we lost all our nerve and watched as he walked right past us and toward the dressing room. That night, we waited for Range Life, but they never played it. Then, at the end of their encore, Steve said, "This one's for the smokers," and launched into Unfair. Surely this was recognition of us and our earlier almost encounter. We were delighted. We got a hold of the copy of the set list from the stage, and it did have Range Life on it, but they must have had to drop it due to some technical difficulties they had during the set. I had to wait and see them another 2 times before I heard it live toward the end of their set, back in the Barrowlands on their reunion tour. Many years later, we are still pavement obsessives, and it was still the same school friend from Aberdeen who introduced me to your podcast when we went to see Malcolmus recently on his Groove Denied tour. Keep up the good work. I'm really enjoying the show. Regarding the Spin article where Malcolmus details each of the songs, I seem to remember the same article being in New Music Express, in advance of Crooked Rain's release, and I'm wondering if that was their original publication and Spin got to reprint it. The reference to the English North-South divide in his bit about Unfair makes me think it was maybe written for the UK publication. Looking forward to hearing your thoughts on So Stark and Greenlander in the bonus content. Thank you so much for writing, and you know what? Now that you mention it, it might be an ME. I'm pulling it out of the Perfect Sound Forever book, and it's not attributed in that book. So that must be the case. As far as your story goes, man, if only you had had the fortitude, I suppose, to stay. It makes me wonder if you would have met Steve. But that call out was super cool. That would be a lot of fun to have been there and been thinking what you were thinking, or listening to what you were thinking. Now for me, the first time I heard Range Life live was when I saw the band, the only time I saw them live. And that was in Central Park in New York City in 2010, September 2010, on the summer stage. And I thought I'd like to play you that cut right now. I found it online and ripped it to MP3, and I'm going to share it with you now. This is Range Life on Meeting Malcolmus, a Pavement podcast.
Talking slow, one thing I'll never forget. Hey, you gotta pay your dues before you pay the rent. Turnstiles out in the traffic, there's ways to live, and it's the way I'm living, right or wrong. It's all that I could do, I wouldn't want to let you be. I want to reach life. If I could settle down, if I could settle down, then I would settle down. I want to reach life. snort it up or shoot it down. You're never gonna feel free. Out on the skateboard, the night she's humming. The gum smacks all the posts I follow with my Walkman hands. Well, I got absolutely no one but myself to blame. Don't worry, no hurry. School's out, what did you expect? Try if I could settle down, if I could settle down, then I would settle down. I wouldn't try if I could settle down, if I could settle down, then I would settle down. Smashing pumpkins, nature kids don't got no function. I don't understand what they mean. I can really get my fire. Pilots, the elegant bachelors, the foxy to me, are they foxy to you? I will agree to serve absolutely everything more than you want me.
Range Life, a playful country song. It seems pretty self-explanatory. It's written from the perspective of someone who just doesn't get Smashing Pumpkins or wherever they came from. Just as they don't understand the market forces that brought them into the forefront of consumerism. But I appreciate it's a weird thing to do to mention other bands in a song. One reason for doing that was because we spend more time talking about records than making them. And I knew that journalists would jump on that song. I wanted to see how the media process works in a situation like this. They're going to want to ask why we dissed Smashing Pumpkins instead of talking about how the lyric "In Heaven is a Truck" is really beautiful. Another reason was because I've always wanted to fight Billy Corgan. Just kidding. The song is also like a burn on pavement, showing us to be little, petty indie rockers trying to keep bands off our turf. It's not designed to upset anyone. It's fairly playful. I hope. That's from Perfect Sound Forever and apparently NME. Stephen Malcolm is explaining Range Life. Now, as I understand it, the demo version of the song didn't have the riff on it. But as Stephen is wont to do, when the time came to record, he sort of off the cuff came up with this verse and sang it, as they were creating the song. And Spiral talks in the book about how much it made them laugh. They just thought it was funny. And they didn't really think about repercussions. But of course there would be repercussions. They were scheduled to play the 1994 Lollapalooza tour. And rumor has it that Billy Corgan threatened to not play. The Smashing Pumpkins were also on Lollapalooza 94. And rumor has it that Corgan threatened not to play any of the dates that Pavement was on. And so Lola had a decision to make, and they made the wrong one. I think in hindsight. Now, Pavement did end up playing 95 Lola, but by that point, Lola was a thing of, like, it had flamed out already. It still did relatively well as far as tours go, but it had really, it didn't have the impact that, the earlier editions did, where it brought bands to the forefront and established them. And it makes me wonder, scratch my head and wonder, had Pavement played in 94, would they have reached me much sooner? Me being somebody who was on the outside of this music, and it didn't reach me. It didn't get to me because, I was higher up on the marketing curve, I suppose. I wasn't an early adopter. I wasn't a tastemaker, a cool kid. I smelled. I sweat too much. I had to buy pants much larger than I wanted to. That's me beating myself up. That's my negative self-talk. So there's that. Now, to me, this song is, again, a trip to nostalgia. I think about a house that I lived in with a couple of roommates where we smoked a lot of pot, played a lot of music, a lot of guitars out on our patio, wrote a lot of songs. Every session we had written a new hit song. And this is fall of 99, leading into 2000. And I would just walk around with my mini disc player. And I had cut, sort of a best of Pavement from my CDs. And Range Life was on it. And it made me think about the future. It made me think about, settling down and what that was going to look like. And so listening to it now, it's interesting to compare and contrast what I thought the future was going to be and what the future actually is, which is now my present. You didn't think we were going to get into temporal things on this podcast, but here we are, talking about the time curtain and how flexible it is. It can be bent at a whim. So there's that. I really think that it's tremendous as a live song, as you heard, our email writer rather, suggest, how badly he or she wanted to hear the song and hear it live, and what it means to hear it live, what it meant to hear it live for me. And earlier on an episode, there's a writer who writes about how nostalgic they get hearing it as well. The sing-along, School's Out, What Did You Expect? And how spectacular that is to sort of call and respond with the band. And you hear it on that live cut, that live version that I played you from Summer Stage rather. So it's a fucking fantastic live song, and we're sort of better off for getting the chance to hear it live. And I'm so glad that this band is going back on the road next year, so we can hear this song live again. Is it strange that I like the live version so much better. I think it's kind of strange. That's not to say I don't like the studio version, because that's the one that I walked around with, and just thought about how great the lyric, out on my skateboard, the night is just humming, and the gum smacks are the pulse I'll follow if my Walkman fades, but I've got absolutely no one but myself to blame. Fuck me. Let's listen to the studio version. It's got a great production value. It's a great song. Just bottom line. This is Range Life and I don't know why I just pronounced it that way, but I did. Range Life on Meeting Malcolmus, a Pavement podcast.
After the glow, the scene, the stage, the set, and talk becomes slow, but there's one thing I'll never forget. Hey, you gotta pay your dues before you pay the rent. Over the turnstiles and out in the traffic, there's ways of living, it's the way I'm living, right or wrong, it's all that I can do. I follow if my Walkman fades. Well, I got absolutely no one but myself to blame. Don't worry, worry no hurry. School's out, what did you expect? I want a range life. If I could settle down, if I could settle down, then I would settle down. I want a range life. If I could settle down, if I could settle down, then I would settle down. Out on tour with a smashing pumpkins, nature kids. They don't have no function. I don't understand what they mean. I could really give a fuck. Stone Temple Pilots, they're elegant bachelors. They're foxy to me, are they foxy to you? I will agree that there's absolutely nothing more than me. Dreaming dreams
There is Pavement just jamming it out at the end. Yeah, that's a real good, maybe that's why I like it live so much, right? Like just getting to see them on stage, just playing the outro of that song. So good. Yeah, I love it. It's another great song. And after 5 - 4 = unity, it's a nice place to go. You know, close your eyes and sort of, there's a story going on in the song for sure. Like there's something happening that I don't have a line on. If you've got a line on it, send me an email, jd@meetingmalcolmist.com. You know, there's drug references and there's crime references and, you know, there's youth references. And, you know, perhaps if I take a stab, you know, it's a young criminal, you know, doing something minor like jumping over the turnstiles at one point, and then, you know, progressing on in their life of crime. And maybe they should just settle down instead of drifting. I don't know. I love the jangliness of it. Makes me want to play guitar. It's got a great groove. There's a real good groove going on in that song. And then just the, you know, playful piano and sound at the end. How fun is that? So good. Yeah. This is a good record. This is a really, really good record. I'm enjoying it. Hope you are too. And we'll be back next week with some Heaven is a Truck. That's where we're going next. So give me your Heaven is a Truck stories and we'll get on the road. All right. Thanks so much. Get the bonus content if you haven't already. Talk to you soon. Meeting Malcolmists, a Pavement podcast, is a weekly affair. Connect with JD at jd@meetingmalcolmists.com. Please support the pod by rating, reviewing, or sponsoring us at meetingmalcolmists.com. And hey, I'm social. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook at Meeting Malcolmists.
The holidays are just around the corner, so now's the time to shop new deals at Lowe's. Make your home even merrier with up to 75% off select pre-lit artificial Christmas trees, holiday lights, and more. Plus, don't miss our limited-time weekly deal drops on items like appliances, tools, and grills. There's something for everyone on your list. Count on Lowe's to help you save all season long, because Lowe's knows deals. Valid 12/5 through 12/11 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. Get even more savings this holiday season by becoming a MyLowe's Rewards member. Don't miss new member deals dropping every week, like $15 off a purchase of $50 or more on select Bounty, Charmin, and Puffs paper products. Plus, get free standard shipping with Silver Key status. Just one more way Lowe's is here to help you shop, save, and enjoy the holidays. Join for free today. MyLowe's Rewards program subject to terms and conditions. Visit Lowe's.com/terms for details. Subject to change. Exclusions and more terms apply. Visit Lowe's.com/shipping terms for details.